Make this complete delivery button today with a countdown timer. Probably use overlay again because I love overlays. So create a new Xcode project. We're going to go with iOS. I'll call this delivery. Oops. I'll go delivery button like that. Oops. Delivery. Sorry about that. And we'll just go ahead and go next. And we're going to put it inside apps. So this will be on GitHub, link to the code down below. I'll go ahead and just adjust things accordingly. Oop, maybe. All right, we're just going to make it full screen, and then I'll pull it over a little bit so we can see our button. So let's go ahead and we'll keep this, and we'll create a state property to track if the full screen sheet is showing. So I'll go at state private var is sheet showing, something like that. And then we're gonna assign it a value of true because we're gonna want to see it. I'm gonna go Command S. I'm gonna go Command 0, hide our navigation, and make a little more screen real estate here so we can see what we're doing and the code's not getting like bunched up. On the padding here, I'll just go ahead and replace this with full screen, and we're going to go to is presented. This will be binding to the is sheet showing, and then for our content, we're going to go ahead and just create a button like so. And I generally prefer to use this one because I just think it's clean. So we'll, do something here, which is actually we'll just go is sheet showing. We'll just toggle that. And then here for the label, that's where we'll create our custom button. So I'll go ahead and create a capsule and do that. We're gonna hide that there. And the capsule's not looking so good so far, so we're going to give it a foreground style of .red, and then I'm going to give it a frame of max. Well, I went on the bottom. I want to go to frame height. Oops. Height of, I don't know, 44. Maybe a bit too thin. We'll go 55. That looks pretty good. And then we also want to give it some padding, so I'll go padding like that. It's looking better. I don't want it sitting here in the center. That's not what I want. So I'm just going to go ahead and go to our button frame, and I'm going to go dot frame max height, height not width. I gotta pay attention to autocomplete sometimes. And we're gonna go dot infinity, and then I'm going to go alignment, and we're gonna go dot bottom. 1 second. All right. My dog's falling off my lap. She's not comfortable. All right. Now it's starting to look pretty good, and need to obviously have some text and things like that. So for our capsule, I think what we'll do is we'll just cut this, or instead of cutting this out, I'll just control click and put it in a Z stack. And above our Z stack, we'll put some text. And this text will say, let's see, complete delivery. It says order. Yep, delivery. All right, and that looks, it's blue, which isn't good. I was gonna say, that looks great. No, it's blue. We're gonna go font, and we're gonna go, I don't know, title 3. Yeah, looks pretty decent. And then we're going to go font weight. I feel like that's, I don't know, semi-bold. Make it a little thicker. And then of course we want to change the foreground style to .white. And now we're getting close, I feel like. So it's coming together. On the Z stack, instead of adding more objects to that, because I want my Z stack to have this text centered, instead of doing something where we could set an alignment here, but I want the stack to be centered. So for our button, I'm just going to do a dot overlay like so. And we are going to set our overlay alignment to be trailing. So, oops. Alignment dot trailing, not top, trailing, like so. And then in here, we're going to have another Z stack, I think, because I'm going to stack. Should have got a better picture of this actually, because as the ring goes, you're going to see a ring behind it. So, it says rectangle. No, don't want to do that. We're going to go circle. And there we go. That's good. And what is our frame? Frame height here is 55. So let's go ahead and go to our Z stack and go frame 55. Or maybe we'll go, that's in a little bit, we'll go 50. And let's also give it some dot padding on the trailing side. But it's still sticking out a bit. So overlay, frame, trailing. For now, we'll just do this really quick. Maybe we'll come back to it and fix it because this is probably not the best, but we'll just add another bit of trailing. All right. Actually, I'm gonna add padding in general. No, let's shrink the size. Let's go 44. It's just too big right now. And this first trailing, we'll just go give it a trailing of 4. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Comment that out, see what we're doing. Yeah, let's go ahead and go like that. I think that looks okay for now. Probably not the best setup, but we're working with this one take approach. This is kind of like yesterday's video. I did one take, so let me know if these are useful or if they're too rambly. I'll try to do better, but I'm trying to upload more frequently and focus more on code and not editing videos. But anywho, comment below, I guess. Where are we at? So we want to give this a stroke with a line width, and our line width, I don't know, let's go 4. Let's try that. Probably a bit thick, but we'll leave it at that for now. Let's go ahead and give it a dot foreground style of dot secondary. Oh, it's secondary, but it's got like that. We'll go with gray. Not 100% sure if I like that. Does it have light gray? We'll do gray, and then we'll go dot opacity and give it a 0.5. Probably go 0. That doesn't look great either. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. You can color it a little different. Nah, I don't like that. We'll go with white. Except we're going to have white here. Yeah, we'll put on the white and we'll see what we think. All right. Sorry, can't make up my mind. So here we want to actually add another stroke, basically. Copy that. Paste that in there. And on this one, we're going to set a trim modifier. Go dot trim from. So trims the shape by a fractional amount based on its representation as a path. So we're going to go from, and for this we're going to go from 0 and 2. We actually need a value here. We're going to go, I think this is a 0.25. and it's gray as well, so it's not looking great. We got to go white. And now you can see we kind of got something that could be tracking, or not tracking, but like, yeah, monitoring the time. So let's see, what else do we need? We need to tie this value into something, so it's not just a hard-coded, number. So we need to track something, and here we're going to go ahead and create our actual timer, and we're just going to create a constant called timer, and we're going to assign it the timer class that is timer that fires a certain times things. And it's already suggesting a pretty good, so we'll go, I think that actually works there, the suggestion. So this publishes every second, and on our main thread, and then current, what's it complaining about? Type, run loop mode has no member current. Apple's suggestion is terrible. So a pseudo mode that includes one or more other run loops. So we can kind of go through and look at different run loops, but I think common's fine. Yeah, so now that we got that connected, we need to create a state property to actually track our time remaining. So we'll go at state private var, and we'll go time remaining like so, and we'll just assign it a value of 5. So I think that's all the properties we need. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's all we need to get our timer going. Now we just need to come down here to our capsule, our button. And if I tap that, toggles that down, but I'm going to go Option Command P to rerun our preview. And since I set the issue to true, we just see that. So now we need to actually kind of fill in this a little more. So let's go to our Z stack and look at our circles. I also want to have like an actual label, like 5. So let's go ahead and add that. And we're going to go ahead and create a text, open parenthesis, and we are just going to set this to be backtick. Use some string interpolation here. Time remaining. It puts an S there, but I don't think we're going to do that. Again, it's blue, so I'm just going to copy this modifier and paste it right there. I want it to be white. Let's see. Now I also think we need to change this here to be the time remaining, which is an int. And let's see, what does trim take? Replace time remaining with, yeah, so it's a CG float. All right, now it's complete ring, which is great. Oh, oops. Yeah, like I suggested, we're going to divide that by 5. And again, we still get a complete ring. I should pull this over. Again, not trying to have our code like go to the next line. Try to keep everything clear. I keep looking all around at the screen. I'm like, I gotta focus on the mic. But yeah, that's pretty good. We need to see. Gotta do. Do we do it on the overlay? No, we do it on the full screen here. Let's collapse this so I can. Oh, let's collapse my. 1 second. I gotta get like a dog bed or something. All right. So So here, I think we want to put the modifier on the full screen cover. So we're going to go dot, and this is going to be an on receive. So adds an action to perform when the view detects data emitted by a given publisher. And we have a publisher because we're using this publish on the timer. And if I option click here, say returns a publisher that repeatedly emits the current date on the given interval. And we're using we're using every 1 second. So to update every 1 second. Anyway, on receive publisher, yes. Go tab. Let's see what that does. Actually, I don't need this. Sorry. Sometimes I get like, oh yeah, Xcode, you know what you're doing. Not try to complain about Xcode. I think it's a pretty decent tool. Just sometimes its suggestions are questionable. But we're going to put in the timer we actually made instead of create a timer right there. And then we're going to execute some code. Contextual, yeah, okay. So we need a contextual type for closure, arguments. So we're missing some arguments there. All right, now that we're in our closure, now we can write up the logic to deal with the every 1 second we're receiving time information. So let us do if time remaining is greater than 0. Is that what we want? Then we'll go time remaining, and we'll go negative assign 1. Okay, sweet. No, it's going the opposite way. Okay, it goes to 0. But we need it to, let's see, else. So it's counting down. That's great. Seems to be counting the wrong way. Maybe we need to switch that. But if it's not greater than 0, if it's like equal to, if it's, greater than 0, obviously it's got a value of 1, 2, whatever. But if it's not, we're going to actually dismiss the view. So, which right now, we can dismiss the view by tapping the button. But I want to dismiss the view when it hits 0. So, and if we wait here, it's not disappearing. So we're going to go is sheet showing, and we're going to toggle. So watch it count down. 3, 2, 1, 0. Yep, there you go. Dismissed. And it's just bouncing around in the preview there. So option command P. Reload that. So it is going down this way, which I think is a bit odd maybe. But there we go. I'm going to pause this. I'm going to go here because it keeps on getting triggered funny. So there we go. We got hopefully that wasn't too all over the place. So we have our full screen. Now on this, you'd probably cut this. This button would be in another view, and you'd pass in this as a binding, and you'd build up a whole other view here. But for the button, it's just a button that can toggle the sheet showing or not. It's a Z stack, so we can stack our capsule with our text view here, and then an overlay just so we can get this nice aligned along the trailing edge, and again another Z stack. So overlays and Z stacks everywhere. And then we just use time remaining. And then with the two circles, we have a stroke here and a stroke here, and then this trim modifier, which trims the shape by the fraction amount anyway. And then we're using the time remaining, and we set it up as a CG float, or cast it, I guess. And then to get things moving, because nothing was really going on, we actually use the on receive to kind of get the updates every second of what's going on, and then we write just a little bit of logic to say, well, every 1 second, remove 1 from the remaining time, and then, if we're below 0, or if we're 0 and below, dismiss the view. Anyway, this is probably overly chatty. I'm going to try to get more organized. I'm going to try to do more than just simple UI elements like this and start diving into things on a more frequent basis. So do let me know what you want to see next, what you think of this, and I'll try to not be as rambling next time. But thanks for watching, and ta-ta for now.